The show where we sort the fact from the fiction. Right, let's meet tonight's panellists. On Jesse Mulligan's team tonight, just like the Pope, he used to be in touch with the youth. It's Mikey Havoc.
Oh, take that two ways.
And she's been a radio DJ and her band had a hit in the 90s. She's basically Havoc with boobs, although the years have not been kind on Mikey, and his boobs are now the same size as Joe Cotton's. And on Oliver Driver's team tonight, he got into this studio in his usual manner by dressing up as someone far more qualified and respected than he actually is, Ben Boyce. And he's a pin-up boy, if only for West Auckland single mothers who, quite frankly, just aren't that picky anymore. Ewan Gilmore. All right, to our first round, Home Truths, where our panellists each read out a statement from the card in front of them. Now, to make things harder, and I promise you, they have never seen the card before, so they have no idea what they'll be faced with. It's up to the opposing team to sort the truth from the lies, and we're starting with Ewan Gilmore.
I taught my dog German.
What's the difference between an English bark and a German bark?
Well, it was an Alsatian, so it was a German Shepherd. I didn't actually teach my dog to speak the language because I would still be there right now, very frustrated. But its commands were in German, you know.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
you'd be able to give us some of those commands then.
Yes, sure.
In German, go.
Yeah, sure.
What's the German for sit?
Sex and Sie sit.
Sex? I think that's a hit TV show starring Sarah Jessica Parker.
It's the German version of the show, basically.
So are you saying that the German word for sit is sit?
And what's the German command for lie down?
Good question. Very, very good question.
Let's put you in a situation. I'm your
ever
dog
lie
and I'm
down?
refusing to lie down. What would you say?
Geh auf deinen Platz.
I did a little bit of German at high school, and I'm pretty sure "Geh auf dein Platz" means get off the plate.
What was the transitional period between when you started trying to teach the commands to the dog and the dog actually realising what you're talking about even?
Well, it was. I got the dog as a puppy, so straight away it was right.
Bilingual.
Boom. Well,
Also, I think you should bear in
dog
mind
didn't
that,
talk.
that the dog doesn't need to try and struggle to understand what the word sit means from the English to the German. The dog doesn't automatically come with an understanding of the English language.
And the thing, you know, is that if somebody breaks into my house and my dog's there and going at them, they can't say anything to that dog that it's going to understand unless it's a German breaking into my house.
Was that...
In which case, I'm stuffed. Everything's gone.
That is some banging West Auckland paranoia there. That's awesome.
Speaking of paranoia, like airport dogs are trained to be suspicious if they smell cannabis. Does your dog get suspicious if it can't smell cannabis?
All right, it's time to make a call.
What was it? Sex and the City? It's a lie.
What do you think, Mike?
I'm going to go with you, Joe.
We'll say lie, thanks, Paul.
Interesting, unanimously they've said you're lying.
Well, it is in fact true.
Sex in the City still?
Sex and Sie sit.
But that whole phrase, sit.
They're Germans.
All right, Joe Cotton.
Oh, right, okay. I ran over my bathroom scales with my car.
Deliberately, or were you trying to weigh yourself in your car? I know the car weighs 1.5 tons.
Deliberately.
And was it like, was it just this particular scales you were just angry with what they were saying?
I was angry at them.
Now, as someone who knows Jo, I can testify she does have quite an anger problem.
Oh my God, Mulligan.
Smash him.
It is true.
Let's paint the picture for us, Joe. When was this?
I'd gone vegan. And for 4 weeks I'd been living with no meat and I'd also taken out gluten of my diet and I'd taken out alcohol of my diet for a month. And I expected the scales to reflect that sort of sacrifice, and they did not.
So you got angry and you took the scales out of, I presume, the bathroom?
I took them.
No, she put the car in the bathroom.
It just spiraled out of control because my first reaction was I stamped on them a little bit And considering the
first
weight they were
step.
telling me, I'm surprised it didn't do more damage. And
Was that equally as frustrating that it said you were heavy yet you weren't heavy enough to damage the scale?
And that's where it spiraled out of control. And then I threw them, I believe, on the ground. And then even that only just a little bit came off, a little piece flew off. And then I started to take it personally that it wouldn't break. So that's when I decided to...
Get the job done.
Yeah.
in the
And
car.
just sort of position them on the driveway and...
Grab the
reversed over
keys,
them.
get into it.
And then drove back and...
And there was no point in between throwing it on the ground and getting into your car, starting up and driving away. They went, this is fucking stupid.
Once again, I can reiterate, I've worked with Joe. And this really is quite consistent with both the anger problem
Do you
and
remember, we would call it the... What is it? The red mist.
the red mist would come down.
Yeah.
Put the scales behind the car initially.
Yeah.
Nice. You're thinking of the logistics of this.
So hang on, if I could demonstrate with these cups.
Uh-oh, here we go.
So here's you in your car.
Yeah.
And then you put the scales here.
Yeah.
And then you reverse all the way back and manage to hit the scales perfectly.
That's precision driving.
That's very precision driving, whereas I would have thought you'd have just placed the scales under the wheel.
No, I didn't. I'm just saying...
I think the mistake you're making, though, Oliver, is that you're not thinking like a woman who reverses over scales.
That is a very good point, Paul. That is a very good point.
All right, Oliver, time for your team to make their decision.
Ewan,
All right. Well, I'm going to say it's true.
you're going to say it's true.
I'm going to say that's true.
We say true.
Joe, they say you're telling the truth.
It is, in fact, true.
Yes, it's true. Joe did to her bathroom scales the same thing that hundreds of Kiwis did to their True Bliss CDs. And at the end of that round, Jessie's team are in the lead, 4 points to 2. Join us after the break when we'll be playing This Is Mine. Welcome back to Would I Lie to You? Our next round is called This Is My, where we bring on a mystery guest who has a close connection to one of our panellists. Now, this week, each of Jessie's team will claim it's them that has the genuine connection. It's up to Oliver's team to spot who's telling the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome this week's special guest, Daniel. Welcome, Daniel. Good to have you here. Thank you. All right, Jessie, who is Daniel to you?
This is Daniel. He taught me how to dance.
Mikey.
This is Daniel. He bought me a Nutella sandwich every day, pretty much for 4 years.
And Joe.
This is Daniel, and he tried to take me on a survivalist course.
All right, Oliver's team, it sounds pretty straightforward. Where do you want to start?
Well, I'm going to dive straight into survivalist course. What sort of survivalist course was it?
So, I did Treasure Island a few years back, and
I remember it.
I didn't know anything about what it was going to be like to be on an island. So my dad, who had previously worked on Outward Bound, hooked me up with Daniel, and he was like, he'll teach you everything that you need to know to like survive your time there.
What sort of things did Daniel teach you?
Tried to. Just stuff like how to make a fire with just wood and like a... without matches. I was single at the time. I spent most of the time going, Daniel, so what's going on with your relationship at the moment? It's not what you should be doing. So I didn't, and I probably wasn't a very good student of learning stuff. I learned some stuff.
Can you still light a fire? You know, if
I have
if
to.
you have a coconut.
And I can open a beer bottle with a lighter.
Yeah, island style.
Day 3 of survival training.
It's so tough out here. I'm going to open
That
my
was
beer
just
with
an
a lighter.
added bonus of training. That was just, this is a cool thing you could
Just
learn.
one more question. Do you
Okay.
think that maybe if you'd used the lighter to light the fire?
That was
It's
the
getting
bottle opener.
dark. I'll hold the lighter there so I can see what I'm doing.
All right, let's move over to Mikey. Mikey, can you remind us once again what your relationship to Daniel is?
All right, this is Daniel, and Daniel and I went to primary school together, and he bought me a Nutella sandwich every day for 4 years.
Like a bullying thing? Like get me a Nutella sandwich, smash your head in?
The story begins as two young gentlemen walking to school together, and it wasn't Daniel, no, that was myself and a guy called David. And we used to walk to school together every day, and we'd play this game where we used to jump over when buses would go past, the shadows from buses. And that if you let the shadow hit you, you'd be chopping off a bit of your legs. So all the way to school, before video games.
Yeah.
And so, you get to school dragging your imaginary bleeding stumps, you're about 7, and oh, God. And Daniel came up and asked us what we were doing one day. So I'll tell you what we're doing if you buy me a sandwich every day at school.
So he bought you the sandwich, he bought the school.
Well,
like his mum made it.
He bought
his
it to
mum
school.
made it.
It got to the stage because I felt a bit bad that he was doing that. So I used to bring mousetraps, which are Marmite and cheese, in case anyone doesn't know. Back when there was Marmite. And so I'd bring them in and we just trade. It sort of became a thing.
The hole that I see blindingly in this is at one point, why didn't Daniel say, Mum, can you just make me mousetraps? And you just go, I might just make sandwiches with Nutella. And then cease this whole swapping madness.
Well, you're only a child, of course, at the time, and there's a lot of things you look back on and go, hey, what did we,
You still sometimes when a bus goes past,
Yep.
go, daft.
Yep. I'm very rarely up at that time of the morning nowadays, though,
Let's move on. Jesse, could you remind us?
Yes,
your
Daniel
connection?
taught me how to dance.
The ballroom or Latin?
Nightclub.
Nightclub. At what point did you realise you couldn't nightclub dance?
I think a lot of Kiwi men struggle dancing at nightclubs. But there's more and more nightclubs now, and sometimes you'll be talking to a young lady at the bar and she'd say, let's go for a dance, and I'd go, oh, sorry, I don't really dance. And I got sick of it, so I said, I'm going to do something about this.
And how did you find Daniel?
He was in a band at the time, and he was dancing really well.
So, Jesse, you approached someone in a band and asked him to teach you to dance.
Why is everyone laughing?
Jesse, I think the only way to prove this conclusively, could you show us pre-Daniel training dancing and then post-Daniel training dancing so that we can see...
His main lesson for me was that one thing Kiwi guys do wrong is they get the energy from the top half of their body. So, when I go onto a nightclub dance floor, it's sort of like this. So Daniel's main message for me is he said, bring the energy up from the bottom. A lot of guys don't know what to do with their arms, and Daniel said, it's easy. He said, clap and smile. No one will know you're not enjoying dancing, so...
So, Jesse, you were taught how to do that.
You can't see it on the TV, but the women are quite impressed.
All right, Oliver, I think you've interrogated them all enough.
Certainly. All right, well, Ewan.
I actually think that it's Joe's survivalist expert, even though I think the Nutella sandwich story is pretty good. But the dancing, that didn't happen. He's gone from being a shit dancer to being a shitter dancer.
It's subjective.
Ben, who do you think?
I really hope it's Mikey's, because otherwise you're really shit at what you do.
So it's divided, Oliver.
is
You'll
divided.
have to
Well,
make a decision.
We're going to go...
So you're
That
going
Joe.
to say that Joe's story is correct?
Yes.
All right, Daniel, would you like to reveal your true identity?
Yes, I am Daniel from the Black Seeds, and I did teach Jesse how to dance, kind of.
Yes, Daniel taught Jesse to dance, and what a great job he did. These days, as we've seen, Jesse is to the world of dance what Stephen Hawking is to the world of dance. Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel. And at the end of that round, Jesse's team have taken a comfortable lead. It's 6 points to 2. Join us after the break for Quickfire. Welcome back to Would I Lie to You? Our final round is Quickfire, where our panellists lie not only through their teeth but against the clock. And again, they don't know if they're about to read out a true fact about themselves or a made-up fact that they have never before seen in their lives. And we will start with Ewan Gilmore.
All right. I cooked my sperm.
Is this from using a laptop without anything else on your lap?
Well, no, I'll tell you what it was. Interesting story. I went to I had to go give a sperm sample, and, well, it was just a urine test, but there's some great magazines in there. And I said, well, look, I don't really want to go here. Can I go home and do it? And they went, of course you can. And they gave me the jar to put it in. And they said, look, you know, you need to keep it warm. So, you know, get some cotton wool around it and put some warm water around it. And so I boiled the jug and then, you know, knocked one out. And poured the jug over the thing, took it back to them, and it turned out the boiling water cooked me sperm. When me doctor looked at it, he goes, it was like looking at a whitebait fritter.
That was a very thorough answer to the question about the laptop. You had them in the jar.
Yeah, little plastic jar, yellow top, just to give it some detail.
And you poured the boiling water on top
of the jar, and like there was, like they gave me like a
like a bain marie.
More of a creme brulee, but yes.
Why were you actually giving sperm?
I wasn't giving it. I was getting it tested, see if the boys were doing okay.
It's not like, it's not like blood pool. They don't have caravan
No, apparently there is a shortage.
Yeah. And I think they even pay for it now. You know, all that money that slipped through my fingers over the years.
I think it might be time to make a call on this.
Yeah.
Please.
What do you think?
I'm going to go for not true.
Cotton, do you believe Ewan's story about cooking his juice?
I just don't think. I think it's a lie.
Yes, Paul. Much like Ewan's sperm count, it doesn't add up. We say that it's a lie.
All right, they say you're lying, Ewan.
Well, it is in fact a truth. They cooked me sperm.
Yes, it is true. It's also the reason Ewan was kicked off the first round of Celebrity MasterChef. All right, Mikey Havoc, your turn.
I let fireworks off every night for a year.
How much fireworks did you actually buy to last you a year?
So at the time I was working for a fireworks import company, sort of consulting for some marketing ideas for them.
Wow.
And yeah, high roller.
Was one of your ideas, give me all these fireworks and I'll let them off every
Pretty
day?
much, yeah. I'll do this and you just give me all that, yeah.
Obviously, having done this, give me 5 firework brand names now.
Whose team are you on?
I'm not on the team.
Mad Lion, Black Cat. There's actually an Indian firework company called Cock.
Come around tonight, I'm going to let my cock on fire.
So whereabouts are you living?
In West Auckland, actually.
It's all starting to ring true so far. Any neighbours with cats and dogs come over and go, hey, could you leave the fireworks tonight? The cat's shitting itself.
I did arrive home one afternoon to find a piece of A4 paper in the letterbox. And it said, Dear Mikey, my name is Catherine, we'll say.
Catherine Wheel.
Nice one, cracker. So it said, Dear Mikey, my name is Catherine, and I'm 9 years old. And the other day I was riding my pony and you let off some fireworks, because I used to let them off during the day, because just... That's all.
That's when they're most
fireworks are awesome, basically. And I was riding my pony and you let some fireworks off, and my pony shied and I fell off onto an electric fence and hurt my back. And
Did you stop after that?
pardon? I stopped letting them off during the day.
Did you respond to that note?
No, I did get my 11-year-old godson to sort of have a look at the note, and I said, does it really look like it's from a 9-year-old girl?
So, hello, your response to this note was to question the integrity of the author. All right, Oliver, it's time for your team to call this.
Bin?
Load of cock, really, I'm going to say.
Load of firework?
It's load of Indian fireworks, right?
Load of Indian fireworks. It's even funny that the Indian fireworks. Would you like to try my cock?
I don't want any racist language from you.
I'm going to make it easy for you, because
Thank God.
I think it's true.
You think it's true?
I think it's true.
I'm going to agree with Ewan. True.
They say you're telling the truth.
Letting fireworks off for a year is true. Yes! More than a year!
Legend, bro. Absolute legend.
Ewan Gilmore, your turn.
I was recently alarmed by my own footsteps.
Could you see your feet at the time?
Yeah, good.
Why were you alarmed at the sound of your footsteps?
Well, because I just had hearing aids fitted, and I'm walking down the road, and all of a sudden it's like, what the is that noise? And because it turns out the world is a really noisy place. And I'm going, what is that? And I thought I was being followed by somebody, and I wasn't. It was just my own footsteps. But you know, like, you know, when you're, I don't know if anybody else ever did this, but when you're a kid and you say, take the rubbish bin out at night, and then when you're coming back and you think there's somebody possibly behind you and you run, but you're too scared to look around and do that. It was kind of like that, but during the day, and I was growing up.
Are you wearing a hearing aid now?
Yes.
I
Say,
said,
are you wearing-
Are you wearing...
Sorry, Paul.
Yeah, I used to do a lot of sign language.
So let me see.
Oh, there.
No, I can't see them.
No, they're very small.
I can't understand how, if the footstep noise was coming at the exact same time you were walking, that would have been a bit of a giveaway that it was...
Yeah, but if you've never heard your footsteps before like that, then it was pretty scary.
That is true, because you'd be going, I've done this before and not heard that.
What else do you hear for the first time when you get a hearing aid?
I'll tell you the funniest thing was the first time I farted. Oh my God. All this time I thought I'd been doing really quiet farts.
All right, what do you think?
I think it might actually be true.
What do you think, Mike?
I'm going true on this one.
Paul, we think it's true.
You and they say you're telling the truth.
It is in fact true. I do wear hearing aids, they're really little.
Yes, it is absolutely true. And that sound signals the end of the show. And I can reveal that Jesse's team have won with 8 points. Well done, team. It's not just a team game, and my individual liar of the week this week is Ewan Gilmore. Congratulations, Ewan. We will print you a certificate that you can frame next to your high school diploma in panel beating and your Henderson Police Station frequent visitor card. Good night.